Hi, this is obviously part 2 of session 5, sound production. So I want to continue with talking about sound, musical approach to it, and maybe free up some concepts that are maybe caught in people's mind and in a way that's I don't particularly think is healthy. Now, on the last video, I played a very simple little something, and I asked if you had any qualities that came to your mind or adjectives. You know, when I was younger, I used to love the adjective rich, a rich tone. That's great, but does it fit all circumstances? There's one question, and let's put that on one side for now. It's a very important one, the more advanced someone gets. But what about for the beginner? Let's start there. What about for the beginner who's thinking about sound? They go into a lesson and a teacher goes, okay, that's out of their, maybe something in their very first book they'd have to play is that F. I remember that was my first note I officially had to learn and identify it, was that F. And so they hear someone play, they see what positions it in, and they do something. And they keep hearing the teacher, and there's a natural wanting to try to copy that. And if the person's interested, obviously then the teacher will start to say, right, and we need air support for that. Maybe before they get into air support, which is different than just blowing tons of air through the instrument to get a full sound. Okay? That's a very different thing. That's a certain kind of air support. That's more what I would call air flow. And a lot of times that's mixed up in my mind. Not in my mind, but what I've seen in other people's minds. They blow a lot of air through the horn, and that's their idea of support. It's actually not. It's just blowing a lot of air through the horn to make sure that the lips will always be vibrating. That's a good place to start. And so I think for beginners, right away to just play certain notes and try to just get into taking a breath and feeling the sound in a natural way for them. Take a big breath, then you can try to say to someone, okay, you might not want to take it all up here right away or you'll cut it off. So take it a little bit lower and have it come up natural. So the breathing can be a natural thing. And then let's say this student, they start to play a little bit more, and then their teacher brings up, and what about a sound on just the mouthpiece? Oh, that's interesting. Because then the sound on the mouthpiece will really tell you about someone's embouchure structure. It really will. As we all know, there's a lot of resistance in the horn compared to going or and so many times after someone gets a little more advanced, I would say, look, play a note on the horn, take it off, make it half covered, make the same sound, same tone, half covered, then do it open, and then with the fingers or with a mouthpiece rim. And you'll be able to see the structure of how the corners are formed, which I call the seat to the hinge joints of the embouchure, the ridge, or where the embouchure is anchored, and this little part, which I call the beak. So it's all coming in. So you'll be able to see all these different parts of the anatomy of the embouchure. When I was much younger, I remember one of the first things when I started to really get into sound when I was about, I don't know, 12, 13 maybe. I used to pretend the sound enveloping the whole room, that it would just encompass the whole room. And right away, you're taking sound and space, because sound occupies space. So, to get in and have fun with sound like you're playing with Play-Doh is a great thing. See if you can have one sound, and then see if you can match the basic quality as close as you can to that one sound that you feel you get the quality that you want. And of course, this changes with time. Some people, I feel today, get a little too caught up in what I would call the center of the sound. The center of the sound can have a natural holding when we have a concept of the quality, but also the direction of where we want the sound to flow through. So this is where right away you start feeling the relationship between rhythm and air and direction and flow through and the sound. Each one of those I had a which brings up a great point, that when we work on one thing, we're never just really working on one thing, are we? We're working on several things at one time. When we're working on our sound, we're working on the cohesion of our embouchure so we can hold together for this amount of directed air that we want to pass through it. And we're also thinking of certain qualities. Now, when I'm teaching certain levels of players, and when they get to a certain level when they're older, maybe in their college years, or sometimes before that, depending on how advanced and how enthusiastic they are in their disciplines, I might say, think of the sound coming from behind you, which is a very, very different feeling. It opens up a different part of our human acoustic. I might say, what color is that sound? I remember Charlie Vernon, the great bass trombonist of the Chicago Symphony, used to say he thought of his sound as more of a deep purple. Maybe that's changed. This was many years ago, but that's what he thought. Anything that you can connect with is what's important. For me, I always felt my sound wanted to change according to the piece that I was playing. And that's why I don't believe at a certain point that we should always try for a sound for just sound's sake, no matter what we're playing. Does it have the same open, full, big sound? Well, not all things need an open, full, big sound. Maybe open and full and leaner. Maybe lean and pure. Whatever that would mean for you. So take a moment now and again think of, does music come first in your playing, What is your sound concept?